Kumari, working as a lecturer in PS Rasuga College, Kakinada, affiliated to RKV Nannaya University, Rajamahendravaram, AP. My subject is interpretation of statutes, and another topic in this subject is what are the classification of interpretation of statutes. What are the classification of statutes? Actually, statutes are classified into 4 categories. One is with reference to the duration, and second one is with reference to method, and the third one is with reference to object, and the fourth one is with reference to application. Actually, the statutes are classified into 4 categories with reference to duration, method, object, and application. Again, the statutes which are classified with reference to duration are again classified into temporary and permanent statutes. What are temporary statutes and what are permanent statutes? Temporary statutes, they denotes for a temporary while, and permanent statutes, they can denote for the permanent while. It means the temporary statutes, they can work for the temporary period, for a while. It means 1 year, 2 years, or for some while. But the permanent statutes, they are for permanently. Example, GOs. If we take the example of GO, they are the permanent, temporary one, and we take the acts or the enactments, they are the permanent one. Just we take the example of IPC, it is a temporary statute, permanent statute, and we take the example of GO, it is a temporary statute. And the second classification of statutes are with reference to method. Again, they are classified into the compulsory or mandatory and directory. Actually, mandatory statutes, they can compel or they can forces the persons to follow compulsorily, and the directory statute should not compel to follow, but it directs to follow. Actually, the mandatory statute, it compels the persons to follow compulsory, but the directory statute, it can directs the person but should not forces the persons to follow. Just we take the example of fundamental rights in our Indian Constitution. The fundamental rights are mandatory. It explains, fundamental rights explains, no one has the authority to violate the rights of others. Everyone has the right to enjoy the fundamental right, but no one has the right to violate the fundamental rights of others. And we take the example of fundamental duties. Fundamental duties are the directory one, because just it depends on the civic sense of the persons to follow, but it should not compel the persons to follow. Just we take the example of these fundamental duties: give respect to women, or protect the heritage, or protect the environment. They are the fundamental duties. Depends on the civic sense of the person. Should not compel the persons to follow mandatorily. But in case of fundamental rights, every person must obey whatever the rules given by the Constitution. It means no one has the authority to violate, or no one has the authority to abstract the rights of others. If any person violates or abstracts the rights of others, that person can seek the remedy from the court of law in form of writ jurisdiction. So, the fundamental duties, they are the directory one, and the fundamental rights, they are the mandatory one. And the third classification of statutes with reference to the object. Actually, they are classified into many types. One is consolidating, another one is codifying, taxing, penal, amending, repealing, etc. etc. Actually, we take the example of the codifying statutes. Codifying statutes, they are nothing but they can codify the laws, or codify the law, the common law or the general law. It gives the meaning of the common law. And just the consolidating statute, it can collect the enactments on a specific subject. The codifying statute, it can codify the laws, general laws, and the consolidating statute, it can collect the enactments whatever they on a specific subject. And the next one is the declaratory statute. What is declaratory statute? It can declare or it can remove the doubts in the existing statute. Whatever the doubts are there, and it can explain the wider sense of the narrow one. So declaratory statute is nothing but it can remove the doubts of the existing statute. And again repealing statute. Some circumstances or some conditions forces or urges to repeal that statute. It is a mandatory one. It becomes a mandatory one. So if the circumstances suggest or the conditions suggest or demands, the statute must be repealed. And the existing statute must be repealed and new statute may be forced to come into existence. Actually, another statute is there, that is the taxing statute. What taxing statute? It can impose us the taxes. Just we take the example of income tax. The Income Tax Act, it explains or it gives the rules or regulations, how the tax can be imposed and what are the persons are exempted from the tax and what conditions the persons can be exempted from the tax. All these can be explained by the Income Tax Act. So the taxing statute, it imposes or it collects the tax from the persons. And the next one is the penal statute. Penal statute is nothing but it punishes the persons whoever committed the offences. The person can be punished under that particular penal statute. Just we take the example of Indian Penal Code. If any person commits the offence of murder, he can be punished under section 302 of IPC. So penal statute, it defines the punishment for the particular offences, whoever commits that particular offence. And the next one is enabling statute. Enabling statute, it enlarges the meaning of the existing statute or the common law. Actually, if the law is in the narrow sense or if the law is in the narrow way, it can enlarge the meaning of that narrow sense or the narrow way. So enabling statute, it enlarges the law. And next one is the amending statute. Amending statute is nothing but some circumstances or some conditions forces or urges to amend that statute. Actually, we take the example of will. Will, it is nothing but public interest litigation. It means if the social interest is interrupted or if the social interest is obstructed, the conditions are just to amend that statute or to amend that law. In that conditions, it will become mandatory to amend the existing laws. So amending statute, it is nothing but the amendment or the change made to the existing one. And remedial statute. This remedial statute actually gives a new remedy or the new way to the existing one. If it interacts or it becomes hardly in implementation or in the enforcement. So the remedial statute gives the new remedy to the old one. And next one is the disabling statute. Disabling statute, it is nothing but it restricts or cuts the rights of the common law. It restricts or cuts the rights of the common law. And next one is the curative statute. Curative statute is nothing but it cures or it can be passed to cure the defects whatever there in the existing one. So according to method, we can classify the statutes into consolidating, codifying, disabling, enabling, remedial, and the taxing, penal, repealing, amending, and curative. And the last classification is with reference to application. It is classified into public statute and private statute. Public statute refers the entire public and private statute, it restricts only to the private persons. It means we take the example of IPC. IPC, it is a public statute. If any person commits, irrespective of caste, religion, etc., that person can be punished under that particular section. It is a public statute. If we take the example of Contract Act, it is a private statute because it refers only to the persons who made the agreement and who violated and the person who was damaged. So private statute, it refers only to the persons who were damaged and who were lost, and public statute refers to the entire public.